And welcome back to another video. In today's video, I will be talking about my first experience of my first semester of art classes. In the previous videos, I talked about my music experience because I am trying to double major. Yes, I'm crazy, but I love them both so much. They're so fun, and I love learning about the arts, and that includes just music and just any media art. I love it. So I'm going to take a little deep dive into what happened this semester. As I mentioned, I would always come across little critters like lizards and rabbits around the campus around the evening time. But anyway, to the art. So we did a lot of contour sort of exercises for the first few days, and this is where I met Mr. Koala. Yes, I don't even know what he is or what he's made of or what happened to him, but he's been through something. But he has personality. He was like my subject for most of my practices because it was just so, I don't know, it's such an odd plushie or whatever this is. Now, the main thing that drove this art class was the still lifes. We did so many still lifes. I've never done so many in my life, but we had to do this. We had to grab like various items and just like make something. These are some of the thumbnail sketches that I've done with the items I grabbed. From my knowledge, I think there's 3 art departments. I think the department I was in, it was like kind of like studio art and just like what you would expect in a studio, because there's also like the new media arts, art history, and then ceramics and sculpture. Also, I found this when I was going home. Looks like a pretty chill fire hydrant. There was this cool bird I saw in front of this like mural and grass area. Here are some of the practices of just like gesture sketches, and just getting the value and mass of stuff. Fancy words. It's just drawing, just fundamentals, and just other ways of working instead of just going in a whole chunk, I guess. Here's the first big project. It was just a still life. I had a vase, a wine bottle, a banana, and a teacup. Let me tell you, I started off the semester being very careful, I guess, and not so wild with the darkness of my, I guess, drawings. I had to learn to balance the lightness and darkness of objects, which was pretty difficult in a way, but I feel like I ended off the semester a lot better than I began. It was pretty fun when we started using ink. It was kind of like watercolor, but it was just, it was colorless. I mean, not colorless, but like it was just blacks, grays, and you basically lighten it up with water. Here are some of the practices I did. A homework assignment, just draw a room. We also dedicated one day of texture studies, so we went out around the campus and just looked at different textures. There was cool leaves too. I also saw a rainbow on the way to school. More leaves. There was just a lot of cool stuff to see. The next big project consisted of like a self-portrait, but we had to make different panels of the face and like sort of the body and fill those with different shapes, patterns, and textures. It did not look like me, but it was fun, challenging, using different mediums to incorporate all together in one project. So it was different. I've never done it before. Also, coming up with like different pattern and textures for each panel, even kind of just like making up some textures or patterns, was pretty tedious. Here are some more sketchbook assignments that I did over the course. We focused on gesture and just basically more on the face and the planes of the face, which was pretty difficult. Here's some more charcoal sketches of gesture drawings, mass drawings. We also did some subtraction and addition. Here are some more of those ink studies that I did in class. Just a little bit more pictures of my project with graphite. And then a pen project where I just had basically signed my name over and over and made a flower. Or flowers. And here's blind contouring. It was horrible. It's so hard. And then just some more still lifes, texture studies, actual gesture drawings. Like we'd like 30 seconds, 5 minutes, and stuff like various times. It was honestly a nightmare to do. I've never had to draw so fast, but it's certainly something I need to practice in the future, as well as still lifes. And then we had Tom play creating something 3D on a flat surface, basically. And wouldn't you know, it's Halloween time. These are our costumes, if you wanted to know. Yeah. Anyway, the greatest thing happened. I found these things. I've been looking for them all over campus because I've seen people wear them, and my one mission going to college was to find those. Anyway, more practice, more still lifes, more fundamental stuff, fun stuff, you know. We started messing around with 1 point and 2 point perspective, just to help us kind of structure our still lifes a little bit more. This was for a gallery visit essay from my art history class. This is the project to practice 1 point perspective, where we had to write our name and kind of just make whatevers. I chose to do some stippling, and it was worth it, but also really, really difficult. My hands are still recovering from that project. Now it was time for the final project. It was basically an installation about us, and we had to figure out what we wanted to incorporate about us onto paper to put it on a wall. We were going to use all the materials we used during the semester, but I added color to this, and I eventually just was like, no, so I didn't use it, but I continued my other ideas, just using pens, inks. Here's Oswald. I did some cool texturing on it. Portrait of my cats in graphite, which I think looked pretty awesome and really silly. And then it was the self-portrait of myself, which was very scary because last time was just a texture one, and it didn't go as well, but this is actually a full-on portrait. I was getting nervous on how, like, transporting my portfolio back and forth from my house to school because it was rainy season, so I was afraid that it would be suddenly pour and I would have my portfolio, which was not waterproof. Also, I got into oils on my personal gain because I've never tried it before. It's sort of fun, but also a little weird to me, especially since I'm so used to using acrylic paint and it drying so fast, and then having to see this painting like still wet after 2 weeks. It was weird. Now back to the progress on my final project. So we had to grid our picture and start on the portrait. We used white charcoal and just regular black charcoal to just create this whole piece. I did not want to start with the head because I was so scared. It's very messy. I don't like charcoal, but I had to persist through. Here's the drawing. I'm dying inside a little bit, you know, because I do not draw realism at all. And this was during Thanksgiving week, so I was off of school and I had full time just working on it and staring at it and seeing if it's good enough, you know. But yeah, I got to spend some time with my cats and stuff to take a break, because if you are struggling and like are frustrated about an art piece, take a break. Anyway, back to the art piece. And this piece of paper was pretty big, so I had to like put it on the wall to make all the details and just color it in. I also drew the French horn because I play the French horn. This is how the little composition came out. I think it looks nice. Here's everything together besides the flowers. I'm not using that one. I scrapped it. I still have it, but you know. Look, it's me peeking through the paper. It's kind of creepy, not gonna lie. But here it is, basically almost complete. Here's some scanned images of my different pieces of paper that kind of relate to me. Here's how the installation looked like. I kind of like the form. Here's everyone else's. Everyone did such a great job. I swear, everyone's so talented. It looks awesome. I like seeing everyone's like different styles and just like something that's just them, you know. This was also our final day, and we got to keep some art supplies, which was really nice. And it's cool to get free stuff. And just like that, that was the end of my art semester. And again, if you didn't know, I also am going to pursue music, so I also have a YouTube video about it, of my music side of going to school. If you would like to check it, I will link it. Besides that, there's other videos that I think are pretty cool that pertain to art and music. So yeah, thanks for watching, and until next time, bye!